Aussie Mojo, and I am here with the legendary, nay, iconic Ratt guitarist Warren DeMartini. Warren, my friend, how are things in the land of Ratt and Roll?
Things are very, very busy, thank you. It's very busy, a good busy, though.
Yeah, I would imagine with all the stuff you've got going on. I've got about a dirty dozen questions for you, then I'll let you get back to the cellar.
Right on.
The new album, Infestation, is a month away from release. We've been playing a couple of the tracks on the station, and the response has been overwhelmingly positive. How are you guys feeling about the finished product?
Really, really good. Yeah, we really, we just got the final mastering back last week, and we put it on, and it just, it just really exceeded, what our expectations. It's just, we're very happy with the way it sounds.
I think it's, for me, Infestation is signature Ratt. The album slips right into your catalog with Out of the Cellar and Invasion of Your Privacy. What was the mindset for you guys, the mindset and the vibe when you guys sat down to write for this record?
Well, conceptually, we kind of wanted to revisit the period, right Out of the Cellar, Invasion of Your Privacy. So we were sort of loosely trying to shoot for something that could fit between those two records.
Right.
Looking for, the more up-tempo ideas, going back to the double leads that Robin Crosby and I started, doing back in '83, stuff like that.
Well, you guys really hit the nail right on the head with it, because this album just sounds, like I said before, just like classic Ratt. To steal a line from your classic hit, what goes around comes around, what made you guys decide now is the time for a new Ratt?
It wasn't an overnight thing, it really sort of started back 3 years ago when, for me, I realized that our first rehearsal with, when Stephen Pearcy, returned to the band, we were rehearsing a song of ours called Lack of Communication, and during the time he was out of the band, I'd written an outro to that song that ended up being a new song on Infestation called Big Bite. But when we finished that song at rehearsal, it really was a great moment for me, because he was like, "Wow, what is that? Who wrote that? And what is it?" And they said, we should make a song out of it. So at that point, I realized that we could get back to writing.
And now, when you guys write and everything, who sort of does what parts? Do you guys just write individually, or do you work together as a band, or?
Everyone works individually on just real broad stroke sketches of stuff, and then we all get together and bring them in and play. Someone will bring a boombox, and it hasn't changed too much really in 25 years. But you'll play an idea either from a demo that you make at home, or you just play the idea on the bass or on the guitar, and it usually just sort of sparks something that everybody kind of joins in, and an idea kind of gets rolling.
And as I understand it, you guys sort of went old school with no outside writers, just the band on this one.
That's right. High contrast to our last effort, which came out in 1999 on Columbia. We used no outside writers. There wasn't a lot of, we were really kind of allowed for the first time since we were in Atlantic to just kind of do what we do, and that it ended up, it really ended up well. We were just sort of allowed to run with the ideas and work them up the way that we know how to do it, the works don't fix it.
And that's what you attribute to the fact that this album is just so strong, then?
Well, it was definitely a big component of it. We had tremendous support from Tom Lipsky and Dave Rath at Roadrunner Records. Early on, were encouraging us to get back to writing and doing what we do, and so they sort of knew what the potential was before we did sometimes. And of course, Michael Basquette was the perfect perfect guy to be behind the desk, producing, because he was, like when Round and Round came out, he was a young kid watching MTV, and so he, was sort of part of the generation that really got it, and now he's major producer. So we sort of had a consciousness brought forward from that period, mixed together with someone that just totally has their fingers on the pulse of what's possible technology-wise today.
Well, and that was sort of one of the questions I was going to ask you. Was you guys sort of broke out of your L.A. comfort zone when you headed to Virginia and recorded this with Elvis Beskett? What was it like for you, not only using a different producer like that, a younger guy, but you guys have never recorded, if I remember correctly, you've never recorded outside of L.A. before.
That's right. We're big fans of records like Exile on Main Street and Houses of the Holy and stuff. Where a group will rent out a villa somewhere, or rent out some big mansion, and bring the mobile recording truck and kind of do something that's different and that's never been done in the band's history. So it worked out perfectly. Michael Beskett's studio is in Virginia, right on the Chesapeake Bay, and we were able to really just sort of combine a road trip with with a recording experience. So it was kind of like Houses of the Holy meets Apocalypse Now.
How did the songs come together for you this time? Did they come together pretty easily? Did you guys really have to work at them, or was it just sort of fluid from the beginning?
It was a little bit of both, really. Stephen and I probably put in a couple of weeks chipping away at the songs like Big Bite and Take Me Home, Last Call, and a song that's on the digital download called Scatter. And then everyone was also at the same time working independently on putting together their ideas and stuff. And then again, it was pretty loose, and it was really those first few rehearsals when things really fell together and you sort of got tightened up.
And we've already sort of gotten an advanced taste of Infestation. The single Best of Me has already been released, and Eat Me Up Alive has gotten out there for those who have pre-ordered the album. And both of them are just terribly infectious. They immediately get stuck in your head. Will we be seeing a video for one of those?
Yes. We just approved the last edit for Best of Me today, so I think that one's going to be coming out any minute.
Okay, so we can look forward to that pretty soon.
Yeah.
And you guys put 11 songs on the record. You had mentioned the digital download a moment ago, including a song name that I hadn't heard yet. So I assume then there are some bonus tracks we can expect to pop up on iTunes and such?
There's a bonus track on iTunes called Scatter that was actually one of the first ones that we worked on.
Yeah, is it already up there, or is it just going to be out when the album comes out?
Actually, it's going to come out with the album on April 20th.
Okay. And now the album sort of takes the listener back 25 years, and in that time, the band has really grown and changed. Obviously there was the unfortunate rift with Juan and the tragic loss of Robin, but Robbie's been in the band now for over a decade. Carlos might as well be family anyway. You all came from that same circle of LA bands who sort of pioneered this genre of music. What's it like playing with Carlos across from you?
It's an event. I sometimes I'll get lost in a song and I'll just sort of forget for a second that forget about it, and then I'll look over and I'll say, oh my God, that's Carlos Cavazo. It's really an event. It's exactly what you said. We're sort of cut from the same cloth. Grew up listening to the same stuff. The late '60s Bruce and Raisin stuff and the mid '70s rock, American rock and roll bands, and we just we have very similar tastes, and it's just it's a very cohesive thing.
Oh no, please don't leave me standing here alone.